everybody, and welcome back to the Spring Loaded Football Podcast. My name is Colonel Brian Sutton, and I'm an honorable Kentucky Colonel. I want to bring in my co-host, Wayne and Jared. Guys, week 3 of the podcast seems to be going really good. YouTube has exploded, and we thank everybody for that. But we're going to start the show off this week by talking about the X League. The X League used to be the Lingerie Football League. And I know very little about it, and I'm sure people listening probably don't know much about it either. But we're going to talk about the teams in the league, and I'll just read them off real quick. And we've got the Atlanta Empire, Los Angeles Black Storm, Austin Sound, Denver Rush, Seattle Thunder, Chicago Blitz, Kansas City Force, and the Arizona Red Devils. And it looks like from their schedule, they're only going to be playing one game a week. And we're going to pop up the schedule now just so everybody at home can see it. Slide one back. There we go. Take that down. And yeah, again, y'all have to just, bear with us. We're not professionals. But Wayne, I'll let you start it off. You want to go ahead and just, read off some games right here for us?
Yeah, in week 1, you've got the Chicago Blitz at Kansas City Force, and that one's going to be in Independence, Missouri. It looks like at the Cable Dahmer Arena.
All right. I guess we'll go with Jared next. Jared, you want to take the next one?
Week 2, you got Saturday, June 18th, Los Angeles Black Storm at Austin Sound at 7 p.m. at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas.
All right. And you got week 3. You got the Denver Rush at the Seattle Thunder Saturday, June 25th. It's going to be at the Showware Center in Kent, Washington.
Yeah, and then week 4, you're going to have the one where it's close to us, the Austin Sound at Atlanta Empire. That'll be at the Gas South Arena in Gwinnett, Georgia on Saturday, July 9th. That's going to be the week after 4th of July.
Right. And that's close to Atlanta. So,
yeah.
Maybe we can make that one.
Yeah.
Week 5, it'll be on a Friday, July the 15th, Kansas City Force at Arizona Red Devils at 8 p.m. Bell Park Stadium. I can't even say that. Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa, my bad. I'm sorry.
And then we got week 6, Friday, July 22nd, Atlanta Empire at Denver Rush, 7 p.m. kickoff. It'll be at the Budweiser Event Center in Loveland, Colorado.
Then week 7, it don't look like they're going to have a game that week with any teams. It's going to be a bye week for Saturday, July 30th.
Okay.
Week 8, Saturday, August 6th, Seattle Thunder and Chicago Blitz at 7 p.m. at the BNO Harris Center, Rockerford, Illinois.
All right. And then week 9, sorry, guys. Week 9, Saturday, August 13th, the Arizona Red Devils at the Los Angeles Black Storm, 6 p.m. kickoff at Champion Stadium in Irvine, California.
Then week 10, on Saturday, August the 27th, there'll be 2 games, the playoff doubleheader at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. at Showware Center in Kent, Washington.
And then week 11, Saturday, September the 10th, X Cup 2022 at 3 p.m. to be determined.
And, of course, they don't know the time to kickoff yet on that one. But Wayne, you were talking about maybe making it to that game in Gwinnett. That'd be the closest one to us. And, I think it's a good idea. I mean, be something I haven't never done.
I've always wanted to go over there and see it.
Yeah,
that's where
it would definitely be.
Gwinnett,
It would
or
be
Atlanta,
interesting.
Well, that's where the hockey team plays over there in Georgia.
Oh,
and
really?
I can't remember if it's the Gwinnett Gladiators or Atlanta Gladiators.
Well, that's where
they play.
Their AAA teams in Gwinnett too for baseball, the Stripers or whatever. But I'm down with it. I think it'd be fun. We could do some videos and stuff from there, and just I think it'd be a good time. But moving on with the show,
me and Jared will be off that week.
Yeah, and I'm good anytime. So
yeah,
but moving on, the USFL released their Week 1 schedule, with all the teams are playing and everything. And again, they're all in Birmingham, either between Protective Stadium or Legion Field, as far as I know. And we're going to be at the inaugural game, the kickoff game. We're going to see the New Jersey Generals play the Birmingham Stallions. And
those Stallions!
Yeah, I can't wait, guys. I think it's going to be awesome. So,
well, did you see the tickets for the game on Saturday and Sunday?
It's like
you get
$10.
3 children's ticket per one. Well, yeah, it's $10, but you get 3 children's ticket per 1 adult ticket.
Right. So they want people to show up. That's a big deal. Is getting people in the stadium, because if there's more than one game at the stadium, whichever one a day. Like they're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday once the league actually starts rolling. But like on Saturday, there'll be 2 games starting week 2. If you buy a ticket and pay your $10 to see one game, you can get into the other game without buying another ticket. And that's a good way to keep people around.
Oh, yeah. Right way.
Well, the good part is, like with Jared, he can buy 1 ticket and get all 3 kids in there with him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and they'll have early games.
So the whole family can go.
Yeah, and like I said, not every game is going to be played at 7:00 at night, and that's a good thing for us when we live an hour and a half away. So,
Jared may go broke buying food for all the kids and souvenirs, but the ticket prices won't kill him.
Right.
I think I do good.
It'll make you feel a little better, I guess. But after New Jersey and Birmingham, we've got Houston. The Houston Gamblers versus the Michigan Panthers. Of course, you got Jeff Fisher, coach of the Panthers, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. And and Jared's favorite team, the Gamblers. So, we don't know much about the teams yet. Excited to see the coaches play each other right now, I think. So
that's a big week 1 matchup too, Sumlin and Fisher.
Right. I mean, you've got some big name coaches in that game. That'd be one I'd like to go to as well.
I figured that'll be the showcase game of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, New Jersey and Birmingham's definitely going to be on TV. It'll be the first game of the new league and stuff. It's definitely going to get a little pomp and circumstance. But that Houston-Michigan game is going to be probably the bigger deal of this week 1 matchup.
I think all of them is going to be pretty good.
And then next we got the Philadelphia Stars versus the New Orleans Breakers. In a battle of what I consider one of the worst uniforms versus one of the best. So that's going to be exciting.
Who will come out on top?
Right. Yeah. It all come out in the wash, right? Is that what we say in Alabama? So, and then next we got Tampa Bay Bandits playing against the Pittsburgh Maulers. Again, Bandits, got a lot of history, which all these teams do in the USFL, but Bandits, again, with, Burt Reynolds' involvement and all that, against a really good uniform team. Again, I hate to be talking about uniforms so much comparing these teams, but that's all we got to go on right now. We ain't got much that we can talk about.
And long snappers too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. The awful awful conversation about long snappers, but that's week one in the USFL.
You know what? You know
ahead.
what makes it all exciting is you don't know. You don't know what
that is what exciting. It does make it hard to talk about, and the only way we can compare the teams is coaches and uniforms. And that's it right now. And after week one, we'll be able to tell. I really do believe, if you've got a team that gets blown out like 45-3, we'll know at that point. Who's good and bad. So,
well, like I said, it's just going to be interesting because the NFL, you kind of have an idea of what the top teams are going to be when the preseason starts. This, you have no clue.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even like with college football, who's coming back, how the team should, be and stuff. And with this, it's like we know very little players that were drafted. There was a few big name ones and some that we could watch videos on, and then you get to the long snappers where you don't know anything. Which I don't know if we want to know anything.
Except their coach told them they did a good job.
Right, they got a pat on the head and a cookie. So, but
cheers, boys.
Again, I apologize to all the long snappers drafted, both of you. I apologize. But, that's just all I know. All right, guys, we're going to switch over here a little bit, and we're going to talk about the USFL head coaches. We all picked, I think, 3 apiece, and then somebody got an extra one or something, or one less. And we're going to start off with Jared. He's going to talk about Kirby Wilson, and we'll let Jared have the floor. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This Alabama internet just isn't the best for anybody. We were about to talk about some coaches in the USFL, and Coach is going to kick us off with that. So, Coach, what do you got?
Well, I got Mike Riley, the New Jersey Generals head coach. He coached at Oregon State in 97 and 98, 2003 and 2014. He was at Nebraska 2015 to 2015. He is a former Alabama Crimson Tide player. He played in the 70s. His win-loss ratio in college is 112 to 99. His NFL career is 14 and 34. His CFL career is 40 and 32, and his WLAF career is 11 and 19. And his AAF is 5 and 3. And in bowl games, I want to say he is 2 for 3. So he's done pretty good in bowl games. NFL, he didn't have that really good. But everything else, his CFL and his college, he's had a lot of wins. So he's been in coaching for a while and stuff, and he's pretty good.
Well, to do that many bowl games for Oregon State, you got to be a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And
for sure.
Like I said, it shocked me to find out he played for Alabama in the 70s. That was like a shocker. I'm like, man, that's sweet. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's got to have some good plays.
There's quite a few Alabama ties in here when you get to breaking it down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess people say we're just homers since we're from Alabama, but
yeah. Well, we win a lot, so why do you want to go next?
Yeah, and speaking of Alabama ties, Kevin Sumlin, I don't know if many people know this, but he was born in Bruton, Alabama.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So whenever he beat Alabama, it was I know he grew up in Indianapolis, but he's still technically an Alabama hometown boy.
Oh, man.
Right.
But, yeah, he played linebacker at Purdue from 83 to 86. So it's pretty amazing that I didn't either. he played linebacker, and then he was like offensive coordinators or wide receiver coaches, in his coaching career. I guess he probably took enough heads off of them that he kind of knew what they shouldn't do.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he coached with Bob Stoops at Oklahoma. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I don't know if y'all remember R.C. Slocum, the head coach for Texas A&M.
No, I don't.
He was a pretty good coach for him back in the day. And speaking of another Alabama tie-in with Mr. Sumlin, he was also an assistant coach under Mike Price.
Oh wow, that didn't last long. So.
No. But technically, he does have one win at Alabama.
Well,
and I guess what, one
that's
loss.
More than most of us can say. Yeah.
One win, one loss, same day.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Sumlin. It kind of amazed me how much of a tie-in you can look back to Alabama that he had.
Right.
But yeah, he head coached at Houston from 2008, 2011, and built that program up pretty good. And then he took over at Texas A&M, where he beat Alabama and one of 18 coaches to beat Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
not many.
If you really look at it from past Saban's first year, where he was completely rebuilding the team, he's only one of 13 coaches to beat him?
Yeah.
And then led a quarterback to the Heisman Trophy with Manziel.
Yeah.
And won a Cotton Bowl.
Oh yeah, the stadium they play in was built, on the backs of Kevin Sumlin's coaching. So can't deny success.
His Arizona career when he was head coaching there wasn't that great. He went 9-20, 6-17 in the Pac-12 conference. So you look at that Pac-12 and you're like, he should have probably won more than 6 games.
Yeah.
But he's got a great track record because he was 35-17 overall at Houston, 51-26 at A&M, and he never had a losing record at A&M.
Yeah.
And went 12-1 with Houston. So, I mean, he's got some good track records on him.
He's a very successful coach. I mean, you can't, one bad stop doesn't make a bad coach. But
and he was SEC Coach of the Year, Conference USA Coach of the Year 2 times. So I mean, he's got some good credentials. 4-3 in bowls. Him and Fisher lining up for the first week. That's the game I want to see the most.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which I know the talent could vary from team to team, but if you go off coaching, to me, they're your 2 highest profile coaches.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
And speaking of who he'll be taking on the first week, you gonna go over Fisher for us?
Yeah, we'll talk about Fisher a little bit. Apologize to everybody watching. I'm gonna be looking down at my notes. Jeff Fisher is the head coach of the Michigan Panthers. He's the coach in the USFL with the most NFL coaching experience. He was the coach for the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans from 1994 until 2010. He was the coach for Houston when they made the move to Tennessee. As well as the coach for St. Louis later on when they moved to Los Angeles. I barely remember it.
Man, I remember it.
I remember more than St. Louis. Yeah.
They had that Oilers stuff.
They played in Memphis
stores.
one year, didn't they?
Yeah, at the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, until what used to be LP Field was built.
What was it, 96 they moved?
Well, I probably should have wrote that down, but somewhere in there, 95, 96, seems about right. So, but like I said, he was also there with St. Louis when they moved to Los Angeles, where he was the Rams head coach for 2012 until 2016. He's primarily a defensive coach because that's what he played in college. I think at USC, I think. He cut his teeth in the NFL as a defensive coordinator for many teams. He actually won a Super Bowl as a player with the Bears in Super Bowl 20. So we know that defense, that Bears defense from that year. Yeah.
That was what?
So he was part of that. He wasn't obviously a big name on it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was all them guys, Jim McMahon, quarterback, all that. So
back when football was football.
He has a career head coaching record. Yeah. His career head coaching record is 178, 171, and one tie. Just over 500. He's almost even if you count the tie as a loss. His most successful season was in 1999 when he led the Titans to their only Super Bowl, which they lost on a last-second play to the Rams, which is odd because he would later be the coach of the Rams. We've talked about that team before. The greatest, the greatest show on turf. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, fantastic team. But yeah, it was heartbreaking seeing him stretch out for that one more yard, just not getting there.
Unless you're a Rams fan.
Like I said, unless you're a Rams fan, then you're happy about it, I guess. But again, he lost to St. Louis in that year. His career has been noted for an overall lack of success. It seemed like every year he was going like 8-8. He only had 6 winning seasons and postseason appearances in 20 years. So you look at the numbers, it might show you that he's a mediocre coach. But with the USFL, he's got all this experience and stuff. I'm sure they're happy to have him. He actually holds the record for the most regular season losses. Do what?
He was like a god down around here. I mean, that was all you heard was Jeff Fisher, how good of a coach he was back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, them Houston teams weren't the worst.
But in this area where we're from, Fisher was the coach.
Yeah. Probably because he was the most successful. Atlanta wasn't doing much. New Orleans wasn't doing much. And that's about all we have close to us. So.
And it was before Tampa Bay really hit it big.
Yeah, before Gruden got there and all that, and that really helped.
But that was still.
But like I was saying, he's actually got the record for the. He's got the record for the most regular season losses. But when you coach for 20 years, you're going to pile up all kinds of records, good and bad. Brett Favre has the most interceptions thrown. So yeah, that's true too. And if he coaches for 54 years, he might have 50 losses. So.
Well, it's amazing. Like 25 losses since 2007, and 6 of those come in your first year.
Yeah.
What other coach can do that?
Yep, can't beat it. We ain't seen one yet. I'm not real sure if we're going to.
That's why, like, Sumlin beating Saban's such a big deal. I mean, how many people can say they've done it?
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
Very few.
And it got Manziel the Heisman just for beating.
Yeah. Yeah. Who went on to have a lackluster pro career. Manziel went to Cleveland, which again probably didn't help anything. Yeah, but say don't help anything when you go to Cleveland. I think he's even done some CFL stuff, and
Well, he's done what? What was that? Or AAF and Canadian Football League, and didn't he do that fan control football league?
Yeah, there's a rumor online that he's going to re-sign with somebody with the fan control football, which would be cool because we'll get to cover it. So
he is interesting to watch. He ain't,
but that's all. Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. To me, he's just really short, and it's been a few years since he's been like in a pro league, like the NFL. And, there's no chance he's going back to the NFL. They just wouldn't even look at him.
I do have a question so far on the coaches that we've reviewed. And this is going to be a fan poll for Brian here. Which coach has the best mustache, Brian?
All right. Oh, it's got to be Fisher. Got to be. Got to be.
Who's your man crush, Brian?
Yeah.
That would be Joe Fisher. I'm not ashamed of it. So. All right, everybody. We're going to do a special segment right now. It's called Coach's Corner. We're going to have some news and everything going on in Spring League. So let's transition right now to Coach's Corner.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. Here with you today is Coach Cooper, live from the newsroom, as you can tell. A supplemental draft in the USFL was held on March the 10th, 2022, with an additional 80 players selected to fill up the 3 final roster spots for each team, 7 practice squad spots. A USFL combined schedule for March 19th and 20th in Birmingham. MLB season opener is pushed back as talks between the MLB players have broke out down, continuing the lockout. And on other news, the original USFL is suing the new USFL for trademark infringement, false advertisement, and false association related to the league name, logos, and uniforms. The real USFL LLC filed the complaint in a California federal court. A lawyer representing Fox Sports and the new USFL responded Thursday to the lawsuit, saying in a statement to the Deadline that the complaint is completely without merit. Also claiming that the new USFL registered in intentional property rights in 2011, and it is executed to launch games on the schedule on April. This coming live from Coach's Corner, the newsroom. Back to you, Brian.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. Just bear with us. We'll try to do better. But this show will be dropping every week on Friday, 6 a.m. Next week, we're going to wrap up a little bit more on head coaches and try to go over some of the other spring leagues that we got. And we appreciate it, guys, and we'll see y'all next time.